question is, why not?
Democrats are alleging that he is somehow part of Epstein's wrongdoing. It's been happening all day long. This is the whole point of this fiasco, is to try to create a narrative and what he calls correctly a hoex, that he is somehow part of it. It's exactly what they did about Russia, and they're doing it on Epstein.
If he knew that Epstein was preying on underage girls, is that wrongdoing?
I don't know what he knew or not. All I know is they were friends.
He told us
and
that he knew
him.
that Epstein liked women on the younger side, girls on the younger
and
side.
And that comment and what you just said are two different things. So
okay,
if you're alleging criminality, go ahead. Say it directly. Say it so we can all hear it.
I am asking you a question that you are pivoting on. The question I am asking you is, if Donald Trump knew that Epstein was having sex and preying on underage girls, is that wrongdoing?
Well, I think if anyone would have known that, but I don't know that he knew that because
I don't know that either.
He disowned it. But you're raising it. If I knew that you ran over someone out on the street, would that be criminal wrongdoing? You're raising it because you don't know if it's true, but you're saying it out loud because you're trying to create. You're
I'm saying it out loud because I think that's what a lot of people are wondering, because he does. The man does protest.
This is what we say when Anna's wondering.
All right, let me let Ambassador in here.
Finish him.
Yes, finish him. There's blood in the water.
Yes.
I mean, Carl, I imagine even you haven't seen anything of this. I don't even know how to explain all of it, right? The Obama treason accusations, criminal referrals to. I mean, obviously, what they're trying to distract with is so big in itself because what they're covering up is obviously so big, right? Uh-oh, Carl froze.
Oh, no.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Oh, he moved. Okay, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Well, oh, no. See, this is what happens. The administration doesn't want us talking about it.
Exactly.
No, I think it's very telling, right? People always say when Trump accuses somebody of something, it's him, he himself who has done it more and worse than anybody before. So
trust me,
it is highly unlikely.
The people believe that he hacked the 2024 election has grown exponentially because every accusation ends up being, something he did. So but go ahead. I mean, just to talk about.
It is highly unlikely that he had a conversation with Pam Bondi where she said, "Your name is in the files," and he didn't say, "What does it say?" Right. It is highly unlikely that didn't happen. And furthermore, all of the actions that he's taken over the last week or two indicate that he knows what's in there and that he doesn't want it to come out. You've got the misdirection that he thought would throw, Republicans that are on this issue off by saying, "Oh, let's get the grand jury testimony in there."
Yeah.
And that's an obvious failure. And now you've got Speaker Johnson closing down Congress after Republicans and Democrats voted to, release the files. Mm-hmm. And then you've got all the non-issue specific attacks, the attacks on Obama, the general things that you get out of him every single day. He doesn't want people talking about this. He doesn't want those files released.
Well, and all the fact that the cover-up gets bigger and bigger every day, Carl, I mean, obviously the speculation, this one, Samuel says, personally, I think what Trump is truly terrified of is not that we'll find out he was a client of Epstein, but that he was a full-blown partner. His links to Epstein go much deeper than we're seeing. How are we going to deal with the idea that the president of the United States has been involved in human sex trafficking? I mean, they lived, a mile away in Palm Beach? There's speculation a lot of this occurred at Mar-a-Lago, not just on, Epstein's Island. I mean, everything that happens, Carl, you go, wow, what's in there must be really, really bad. Because, you'd have to be an idiot to not know he's in the Epstein files at this point, even before yesterday's bombshell, right?
One person can put this to rest. He can put this to rest. He can get these documents out there. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he doesn't want to do it indicates a great deal. We don't know what's in there. But his failure to be transparent about this is, leading a lot to speculate about what might be in there and why somebody would go to such great lengths to keep it from coming out. And watching how he's played all of the people in his administration against each other also indicates, the problems that lie ahead for him.
Yeah.
This is going to be that Fifth Avenue test for him. I'm beginning to think that when he talked about shooting somebody on Fifth Avenue, it was a metaphor for exactly this type of scenario, something so deeply foreign to the base. Will they come along and say that, if it is really bad, what's in those files, that, Trump, isn't personally responsible, even if it's black and white? They probably will, but it's going to be a real test.
Well, I don't see how they ever claim to be the party of family values again.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have had a lot of talks about our Republican families. Carter said former GOP House Speaker Denny Hastert molested teenage boys. Sitting Congressman Jim Jordan protected the Ohio State team doctor who also molested teen boys. The question isn't if they would protect Trump, but why protecting abusers is a feature of the Republican Party. That's a great point. This isn't actually new, right?
No, it's not. Well, and with this particular person, this president, they've gone to great lengths to excuse everything under the sun. You'll even see interviews with Republican members of Congress where they're confronted with something and the person is saying that Joe Biden did it, and they condemn it, and they condemn it, and they condemn it. And then they say, oh, wait, no, I was talking about President Trump. He's the one that did those things that I just told you about. And then they excuse it and excuse it and excuse it. Right. I'm sure this will be no different, but it will probably peel away a good chunk of that base that only comes out for Donald Trump. And that is a piece of the electorate that is far harder for people to reach.
Well, he just lost the QAnon shaman yesterday, so there's that. Even people that he's given pardons to that are also criminals, he's lost. Is there a scene in Batman where the other criminals turn against the other?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay. Okay. So as we were mentioning, Tulsi Gabbard listed a series of Hillary Clinton conspiracy theories because that's all the red meat they've got. I mean, talk about throwing everything but the kitchen sink. Hillary, Obama, black guy. Oh, here's a little Biden on the side. She said the document she released proves Russia favored Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. Okay. I can't even keep a straight face getting through that sentence, but okay. So then we played what she talked about, her, excessive cheerfulness. What else did I miss there? Psycho-emotional problems.
Yep.
What is that is that embedded in the risotto recipe? I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookie recipe.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where there's evidence of Hillary's psycho-emotional.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I was saying, Carl, this is all the stuff, which was another boatload of help Trump had in 2016, is all those fake National Enquirer stories about Hillary, that she's dying of this or of that. She's already dead. She's back from the dead. I mean, he had just a massive amount of cheating help in the, whatever you want to call it, in the 2016 election.
Right. And in addition to that, you had all the psycho-political work being done by bad actors, over social media on Facebook and whatnot. Cambridge Analytica and everybody else using social media to pit the Democrats against each other. We saw Elon Musk pick up that torch in the last election.
Yeah.
So, issue after issue, this is going to continue to happen, by the way.
And obviously, Elon Musk was right. when he knew he was in the Epstein files, right? When he said that, and if he knew, Trump obviously knew.
Yeah, I think we all knew.
Yeah.
I don't want to give Elon Musk any credit unless he launches the America Party and really puts a big effort into it to get those conservative voters to leave the Republicans and go with a real party of conviction.
Well, so let's talk about how this is playing. Chris, you've spent time in right-wing world.
I have.
We come from Republican families. So Chris says Gabbard is taking full advantage of the right-wing media sphere. The outlets are talking, and talking heads will just repeat what she says, and the consumers will just accept what they're told rather than actually reading the documents.
Yep.
What's been released merely reinforces what was already known. Russia did attempt to influence the election, did not actually change vote totals. I mean, again, they're alleging something that nobody said or did. Obama never said that they hacked the voting machines, right?
Yeah, and I mean this is just, and this is what's crazy about it, is it's the exact same thing they keep saying over and over again. So they're not only getting out counter narrative, but they're reinforcing a narrative that they've been stringing along all throughout this process.
Yeah.
But that's what they do, and so that's how they get people to sing from the same sheet music.
Well, So I was Media Matters for America said right-wing media have reacted to Gabbard's report, which Trump has seized on to distract from the Epstein chaos by demanding that Obama be charged for treason in a military tribunal. I think it was Malcolm Nance yesterday that was saying, this is part of what he knows. That's the frenzy. Remember, everybody, all these global elites, pedophile, baby blood drinking. They're all gonna be, put on trial and executed in a tribunal or whatever. So, in some ways, like this is the ultimate red meat for his base, right? Is Obama's going to be arrested and tried or something, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and it raises the question: how bad are the documents? If he's pulling, out the
that's your last
the bat
card.
phone.
That's your last card, right?
Right, and he's just playing, a game of war against himself. He's got all the cards, and so if he's playing the last one, there's something must be really telling in those documents.
Yeah.
I always say it's like that scene in the movie where your gun runs out of bullets and you just throw the gun. All right. Well, we are. Well, just one last conspiracy sausage, because here we go back to Russia. Ryan says, you all know the reason Gabbard is doing this hatchet job is that Trump is to both distract from Epstein and fearing that Russia is about to release about him, knowing that he's going to be blackmailed by them, just as the reports he's trying to discredit warned about. He's trying to claim the entire Mueller investigation and much of the Steele memo, which are about to be fully vindicated, are fake because of what the Russians are threatening to release. There's always been that element of this, right?
From the very beginning. And, obviously some of it's not true, but I think we all know a lot of it probably is true. Speaking of Mueller, it's time for the Mueller report to be made public. To
your
end
point,
of the day,
that's what was the point of the Barr report. They didn't read the actual Mueller report, which showed massive interference by Russia to help Trump and massive collusion. That again, this time, and as we keep saying, how many counts? I can't remember how many counts of obstruction were there. That's why. They weren't able to convict because they committed so many additional crimes of obstruction. Now it's all out in he's doing the Manafort, but in full view with Ghislaine Maxwell, right? I mean, in terms of the witness tampering and the pardon dangling and all of it, right?
Absolutely. And, unfortunately, the co-equal branch of government has literally walked away from its responsibilities, leaving the American people high and dry as it takes a summer recess when there's important work to be not only on, the Epstein files, but also on doing anything for people who are struggling in this country. Well,
Carl, talk to us about Congress for a second, because what does it mean that it's the Oversight Committee that just passed, for the subpoena? What does that mean? I mean, because it feels like that Batman scene where the walls are closing in on him between the Wall Street Journal and this vote in Congress, because they got enough Republicans to vote with them.
Yeah, I think that it means that the committee will be receiving the files, but I believe it would require the Justice Committee to provide them the files. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Pam Bondi is not going to let that happen.
Well, I know it's this stuff. I mean, it's so slam dunk, Carl, that just the stuff, what do you call it? Ron Wyden, Senator Wyden. Charlie says Trump made over 4,000 wire transfers to Epstein, totaling over $1 billion. Yeah, absolutely nothing to see here. Gee, what could that have been for? I mean,
we also know that from Dick Durbin's letter that the Justice Department demanded that the FBI provide scores of employees to review the documents and flag instances that Trump was mentioned, which is ultimately what led, I guess, to Pam Bondi informing Trump in May that he was in those documents, just in enough time for him to deny that actually happened to members of the media.
So these social issues that they say we lost the election on, can I just say, Gavin Newsom, we were saying, I love the way he's fighting back. I don't know if you saw, Trump and DeSantis administration has ordered the removal of the rainbow crosswalks in Florida. Yeah. And Gavin Newsom just tweeted Florida, number 51 in mental health care, number 1 in home insurance costs, number 1 in elder fraud, number 1 in rent hikes. But let's crack down on rainbow crosswalks. Totally the crisis. I mean, and again, in the wake of this Epstein stuff, that's how you take these issues and throw them back at them, right?
Yeah, I think the importance of talking about issues that actually impact people and pointing out that Republicans are not focused on issues that impact anybody but, in any serious way other than inflaming their base. There's a sliver of this electorate that will vote either way come election day.
Yeah.
And what they care about is, knowing that the people they elect are doing something on their behalf to better their chances at life.
Yeah.
Republicans are not focused on any of those issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Carl Frisch, you remain a delightful scamp for many, many years now. At mooksforcarl.com.
Yes.
We love you.
That's right.
Well, CPAP machines are the worst, right? Who can sleep at night with that mask and hose strapped to your face? But without it, breathing is disrupted, and if you have a higher risk of dementia, stroke, heart disease, or premature death, the bottom line is if you snore now, you are at heightened risk of requiring a CPAP machine later. So now is the time to stop snoring. One of the smartest, fastest, easiest ways to stop snoring is Zypa. Zypa is the comfortable doctor-designed mouthpiece that can stop snoring as fast as the first night. Don't be fooled by imitators. Zypa was proven in a 600-patient clinical trial, and with over 500,000 units sold, Zypa is the stop snoring device that we trust. No more being nudged awake for snoring, no more sleeping in separate rooms, no more feeling tired and foggy all day due to lack of sleep. Look, this may be your last best chance to solve your snoring problem now, or face having to wear that CPAP mask later. Zypa, that's Happy Z spelled backward. I want you to try it with my special discount. Get 20% off and free shipping if you visit zyppah.com. Use that promo code SNORE. Again, the promo code is SNORE at zyppah.com.